Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Wendy Castle, dietitian with One Bite Nutrition. I'm here with Nikki Bomar, one of our dietitians as well. And we're happy to bring you some more nutrition information, just trying to bust myths versus truth. So, Nikki, one of the things that I think most people are on is social media. Social media takes up a lot of time in people's lives. It's very influential. They get a lot of information, good and maybe some not so good. So, what are some of the ways that social media affects how people eat?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest one right now is those viral trends, right? We are seeing something on social media over various platforms as well. And the more we see something, the more likely we are to say, oh, maybe I should try that too. So if we're seeing the same thing on a video, or, the last 5 out of 10 videos we just watched are over the same way of eating or certain food that we need to incorporate in, then we're probably going to have it stuck in our heads. We're probably going to ask about that and say, maybe I should do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I'm guilty of, if I'm looking at different recipes or different foods, then all of a sudden my feed is all of that.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like brainwashing you, like you have to do this. And the same can hold true for products. So, yeah. What about one of the other things about like how celebrities and, people in the media are influencing how we eat?
Yeah, so definitely celebrity endorsement is not a new thing at all. Right, we can think way back to when it was celebrities on magazine covers, on the ads, those sort of things. And now it kind of has a wider view now that what we see as a celebrity has widened as well, right? It's not just actresses, singers, things like that anymore. We also have all these social media stars or influencers that are promoting products as well. And I don't think it is, uncommon for these influencers just to be sent products to say, okay, do a video over this. You can have the product. We might pay you. Here you go. And so we're seeing, maybe an influencer who lives a similar life to us or has a life that we want to try to aspire to, or at least portrays it that way, right? If they are, showing a certain supplement or a certain food product, we're more likely to try that because, again, they are influencing you to buy that product.
Yeah, absolutely. And one way to kind of figure out if somebody has been given something to, advertise their product or support their product, they're supposed to post sponsored right above it. And if they do a video feed, it's supposed to say sponsored in it. Not everyone does. I mean, I don't know that there's big social media police that enforce this, but um, ethically they are supposed to put sponsored on there. But regardless, you're still watching the information and you're still getting that input of, hey, I should probably do this, or that looks really good, or that looks really cool.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
sure.
absolutely. What about the term you eat with your eyes? Like, how does that influence our choices?
Yes, so that food presentation, right? And I know that this is something that, I mean, I've talked about my whole career. You've probably talked about your whole career of we can still have fun with our food, right? It doesn't have to be bland, boring. Right? If we have foods that are colorful on our plate, that have different textures, we are way more likely to eat them than we have a super, monochrome, bland, basic looking meal, right? If we take like an acai bowl, for example, and I have, this purple creamy acai base with maybe some crunchy granola, some crisp apples. They're all different colors, they're all different textures. Versus if I have, I don't know, mashed potatoes, baked chicken, and cauliflower. Right? They're all kind of the same color. They're all kind of the same texture, a little bit not so texture, but for the most part, nothing too exciting going on there. And so I definitely feel like that plays a role when we're looking at what's going on social media, right? These meals are like plated beautifully, right?
Absolutely.
They have garnishes on them, right? So all these things are going into it. That is it necessary for nutrition? Of course not. But does it help us want to eat that food more? Definitely.
Yeah, and all of us with kids know that it's all about presentation. I mean, and the marketing agencies know too. If they make, Mario mac and cheese, you're going to get more buyers than just the regular kind. And if you're going to have, Scooby-Doo, Cheez-Its, stuff like that, you're going to get that marketing. Unfortunately, a lot of times with produce, it's not processed, it's not packaged, so they don't have the opportunity to do that. So that's one thing that we can do on our own is blend those colors together, make sure that their plate is looking good, or even make the fruit and the vegetables into shapes. Um, I've kind of taught my kids that, and so the other day my son had made me a little smiley face out of blueberries, and I was like, "Ah, see, yeah, it works."
It
Um,
does, yes.
yeah, so there's way to influence, children or even yourself to eat healthy foods without having the help of marketing to do that. And then what about the misinformation that's out there? I mean, we know, and I think most people know that not everything you read on the internet you can trust, and I get that. But it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to not be duped or not to believe something that's being, advertised to you or told to you multiple times. So how do you know?
Yeah. And right, like you said, that misinformation is definitely the most harmful aspect of these viral trends, right? Again, we don't, anyone can put anything on the internet, right? And I think if any of my patients are watching this, they're probably like, ah, yeah, she said that exact sentence to me at least once or twice. Right? Anybody can put anything on the internet. And so, right, we know that there's a difference between a registered dietitian, a nutritionist, a health coach, a nutrition pro, whatever we are, the different terms that they use online to promote themselves, right? Where that person got their information, that's our biggest thing, right? Is that going to be harmful information? Is it going to be harmful both health wise, mentally, anything like that's what we're looking out for. I mean, I can't go a single day scrolling on my social medias without seeing something from somewhere that is trying to give me nutrition information, right? Um, and so again, are they harmful or are they helpful? That's really what we need to look at there. Look into their qualifications. Again, that can be really, really hard to do sometimes as well. And again, just looking into what's a nutritionist, what's a registered dietitian, I think that's a great place to start with those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And another kind of trigger that people might recognize is if they're always trying to take out a certain food group. I feel like, that's kind of a red light, like, hey, is this going to be sustainable? For the next 60, 70 years, are you going to be able to eat this way and be healthy? Um, and so that kind of brings people back like, oh, I might be able to do this for a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, but like I'm not going to be able to do this forever. And
Yeah.
that's not the intention of a good diet. One thing that we kind of promote here at One Bite Nutrition is taking baby steps to sustainable, healthy habits. So it's not a diet, it's not just right here, right now, but it's over time. Are you going to be able to meet those goals by making small little changes to your diet, to your lifestyle, to the behaviors that you're having revolving around food?
Yes, like you said, it has to be sustainable. And right, unless you are allergic to something, there's no need to completely take it out of our diet under most circumstances. Yes, that's a good, perfect one to say. This is probably a red flag getting thrown up here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all for being with us today. We'll keep throwing these tips out at you guys. If there's any topics or any messages that you guys want us to address, feel free to email them to info@onebitenutrition.com. If we can help you along your journey, same deal. You can go to our website, onebitenutrition.com, or send us an email. Have a great day. Talk soon, guys. Bye.